When this former cop saw a bright red baby locked in a car, his actions left onlookers gobsmacked. Steve Eckel had already retired from the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office in New Jersey when August 29, 2016 rolled around. And on that day, the 53-year-old probably had no intentions of making quick, potentially life-saving decisions like the ones he was used to on the job as a police officer. But as it turned out, Eckel's mettle would soon be tested yet again. On that day, just after noon, he had gone to a shopping center in Howell Township. Specifically, Eckel was on the hunt for smart t-shirts for a new job he was about to start. He would be working as a security officer in the state's school system, presumably a slower-paced role than his one on the force. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. Having driven in from his home in nearby Jackson Township, Eckel found a space for his car in the shopping center's parking lot in front of Kohl's, the department store where he intended to pick up his workplace attire. And he likely felt the summer heat as he walked from his car to the store's entrance. Temperature soared into the high 80s on that summer afternoon. But Eckel knew what should have been a simple shopping trip would prove to be far from straightforward as soon as he heard a woman scream, "Oh my God!" from across the parking lot. His years of duty as a cop, moreover, made him heed the call at once. The voice belonged to a 30-year-old school teacher, Sarah Mazzoni. She had also gone to Kohl's that afternoon to pick up a few new t-shirts of her own. However, as Mazzoni was making her way to the department store, she heard something unexpected in the parking lot.
I hear some faint crying,
as she would go on to describe it to local news channel ABC7. Mazzoni followed the cries, knowing she was on the right path as she had heard them get louder and louder. Then she came upon the source. Unbelievably, a baby girl had been strapped into a car seat and left in a vehicle during the hot summer's day. Even worse, the baby was wrapped in a warm blanket and all of the locked car's windows were sealed tightly.
She said, "Oh my God." So when I turned to see what "oh my God" was,
I said, "There's a baby locked in the car. We need to get help right away."
And it was screaming.
As the temperature outside neared 90 degrees Fahrenheit, in fact, it would turn the 2006 Nissan Sentra into a virtual oven. Eckel later estimated that it was well over 120 degrees inside.
It was well over 120 degrees in that car. Just thinking what could have happened.
Mazzoni had watched horrified as the baby girl was
Hands were out, sweating.
Breathing quickly, hyperventilating, and was clearly in distress.
Indeed, it was the shock of such a desperate situation that caused Mazzoni to cry out. Fortunately, though, her exclamation was heard by the former police officer. Eckel's background in law enforcement would have made him aware that the adult responsible for leaving a baby in a car on such a hot day could be charged with child endangerment. Certainly, it is simply not safe to leave a child in a vehicle in hot weather. According to experts, the temperature inside a car can increase by 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, for instance. After an hour, moreover, it can become 40 degrees hotter inside than it is outside of the car. On a cooler day, New Jersey state law would have turned a blind eye to a parent's decision to leave their kid alone in the car. Only 19 U.S. states have laws making it illegal to leave a child unattended in a vehicle, and the Garden State is not one of them. The 4-month-old left alone on that August day was in a much more dangerous situation, however. As a result, Mazzoni and Eckel knew that they had to act fast to save the baby girl's life, so they called emergency services to come and rescue her.
I got an infant in a car, a locked car. I don't want to smash the window myself. I'm a retired officer with the baby in the car.
They also alerted the staff at a nearby store, perhaps in hope of finding the car's owner to come and get the overheated infant out of her car seat. But Eckel soon realized that they couldn't just stand and wait for the now bright red baby to be saved.
She was sweating, crying. Her hands were out in the car. She was screaming so loud you could see her eyes rolling back.
He told CBS 2 New York. And so while he had already used his cop impulses, now Eckel also had to heed his instincts as a father. All of a sudden, the retired police sergeant realized exactly what he needed to do and what he required to carry out his plan. Eckel raced back to his own car, running in flip-flops no less, to grab the tool he needed that he had remembered he was packing in the trunk. In next to no time then, he was back at the locked vehicle with a very blunt answer to the problem: a sledgehammer. He stood next to the front passenger window far from the baby's car seat.
And then I remembered I had the sledgehammer back in my car. I just went to bash the window and it bounced off 3 times. And I said, I got to hit it in the corner. What am I doing? So I went around to the other side and I just hit it at the corner.
He then launched the sledgehammer at the window's corner.
And I ran around to the other side, and then I caught the edge right here by the window, and it just shattered.
Eckel and Mazzoni's work wasn't done there, however.
Took all of her clothes off, which were soaking wet, and started to cool her down.
After picking up the baby, they rapidly took off her clothes and doused her in water in the air-conditioned pool of coals, and they could see her relief almost instantly.
The baby was okay, and that's really what was important.
I almost started to cry. I felt really emotional at that point.
Meanwhile, police officers and paramedics arrived on the scene before the child's mother, 33-year-old Karen Gruen. The errant mom had come back to her car, noticed the broken window, and then saw an empty car seat. Understandably, she approached the attendant cops in a panic. Just like Mazzoni, Gruen reportedly shouted, "Oh my God," although her exclamation met a different kind of reaction.
"Oh my God, where's my baby?" And the cop said, "Oh, you're the mother? Okay, let's have a seat."
With a charge of endangering the welfare of a child.
She should plead guilty and get some probation and realize that you just don't do this.
However, Gruen was never prosecuted, as her attorney successfully argued for mitigation. They said that she had completely forgotten the baby was in her car due to family and employment pressures. Nevertheless, a judge at a pretrial program for first-time offenders required her to complete 100 hours of community service, albeit also ordering that her charge not go on record. For the former cop, though, that August day ended with a rescued baby with no serious harm done. It was a happy ending that Eckel had seldom seen during his career in law enforcement. And, in fact, the retiree had a more serendipitous explanation for what happened in the shopping center parking lot.
No, I do believe in guardian angels, and I think that I'm the one for this child.
He told CBS 2 New York. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.